Okay, I don't know if anybody's out there yet, but I am appreciative of all who have stuck by me. Hey, Samantha. How are you, sweetheart? Thank you for coming in this morning. You're my first visitor. Get yourself a cup of hot tea. Are you getting any snow out there? Or is it all gone through? Good. I'm glad to hear that. Your sinuses have all cleared up. Hello, Barbara. It's so lovely to see your face, too. I wasn't sure how many people would be here this morning because I haven't been here for 3 weeks, and I think they say it just takes a couple weeks to start a new habit. And if you don't have to have it, you don't have to have it.
Are you on?
Yeah. You okay?
Are you on?
Yeah.
Okay.
What? Okay, yeah, I'm on. People are coming in, leaving their shoes. Didn't you see their shoes, Mr. Elmo? Sally, hello. And Marsha Lee, hello, hello. Zachman. Gloria Bowman, hello, hello, dear heart. I'm so glad to see you this morning. And Jennifer. Sally Savin says hello, Mr. Elmo. I think sometimes he secretly puts on my channel and watches it, but I never say anything and he doesn't say anything, and that's okay. Left your boots. Okay. 5 feet of snow. Zach, man, that's a lot of snow. I think the accumulation on my sister's, excuse me, on the railing on her back deck was 9 inches. I know the blowing caused it to drift higher, but the accumulation was 9 inches. Yes, he is, Sally. He patiently waited for me to come home. I thought I was coming home after 2 weeks, but it didn't work out, so I had to stay an additional week. And he said, family comes first, family comes first. He said he is such a good guy. You tell your grandma that all is well. Okay, I wanna wait till a few more people come in, and then I have some news for you. In the meantime, I watched Christy this morning, and she is working with her Leike needles, and they are driftwood needles, and she's making hats. Her theme for this year is hats, hats, and more hats, and washcloths and more washcloths, plus her other things. And I crocheted while I was up there. I crocheted, I don't know, probably 15 hats and gave 5 of them away and brought home several. And um, so I took a picture of the ones that I had here at the house and sent it to her Facebook page. Because if you make a hat a month for the whole year, then you get an opportunity to win a prize. And, I don't need any more yarn, but I have stayed away from a lot of things because I don't need any more yarn. Well, guess what? What's one skein of yarn? And so this year I decided I'm going to participate. I'm going to participate in making, because if I make, no matter what the outcome, I have things to give. And that's my goal anyway. So I think I made she mentioned this morning 9 hats, and 8 of them will go to charity. One goes to a great grand niece in Ohio. But Alma, hello, hello. You know what, Alma? I haven't been here for the last 3 weeks, so it's not all on your shoulders, dear. Marietta, good morning to you. He is, Barbara. He is glad to have me back. Zach, you're going to plateau at some point, and you're probably going to stay there for several weeks. And then, if you're still working on it, you'll lose more. But don't. I think I gained 5 while I was up at my sister's. All we did was crochet and eat, seems like. Oh boy. Anyway, I crocheted a bunch of hats last month. So um, this morning, Christy was talking about the hat she had started on her Likey needles. And I thought, wait, I've got some Likeys. And where are they? So I started looking around and I found my pair of, I think these are 14. Wait, I'll tell you what they are. They're right here. They are 12-inch. They're 12-inch driftwood needles. Size 7, which is 4.5 millimeters. And they are Likey, Lykke, which is made in Nepal, India. Named after the Norwegian word for happiness, Likey crafts combine high-quality materials and thoughtful designs to produce beautiful, durable, happy-making tools and accessories for the creative maker and for the average maker. So I dragged out a hat. I dragged out a hat pattern for the troops, and they say use because they're mostly men, black, dark green, navy, gray, camo, brown, usually the muted colors only. Well, since they're not going to go to the troops, I picked this one, which is a Premier Basic yarn. It's a worsted weight, 100% acrylic in the color taffy. So that is what I'm working on today, is a knitted hat, amongst other things. Jenny! Hello, hello. You had snow yesterday? They said it was coming south of Georgia, so I didn't know how much into Florida it was going to get. So it's nice to know it was cold yesterday. We were in Lake City yesterday because I had to go. We went to Aldi's, I think it was. Oh, did I, Leanie? Well, you know what? I probably had January's calendar out here, and the first Sunday was the 4th, but it doesn't matter. I wasn't sure I was going to be on today either, but I wasn't going to do another year. I think we talked about this in January. I wasn't going to do another year. I had enough. I'm tired. I'm out of ideas. I felt in a low place. And then I got called away to my sister's. And Mia, I love you. I lost my thought. Anyway, I went up to my sister's, her caregiver of 4 years, had had enough of the circus surrounding my sister. Not my sister, but the circus surrounding my sister. And she gave her notice. My sister does not like change. She does not like new things. She does not like not knowing. She does not like walking into a place where she can't find a friendly face. Certain things frighten her, other things make her very apprehensive. And I knew that this change was going to be a big deal for her. So I talked it over with Mr. Elmo, and he said family comes first. So I booked a ticket for 2 weeks. Well, I went to the airport in Gainesville, and I just missed they closed the gate, like, I don't know, half an hour before they take off or something like that, and they had just closed the gate, and I missed the flight. So they booked another flight for me, which I had to pay for. Anyway, I would come home on my right flight, but I had to book another flight to go. So um, went back the next morning, plenty of time, and flew up. My nephew came to Detroit and picked me up, and everything was fine. We did not rent a car this time because I needed to stay there with her and keep her calm and comfortable and all the things that go along with that. Those of you who have been caretakers for family will understand. So um, my favorite pea in the whole world. Hello, sweetheart. Okay, I flew up. He picked me up, took me back, and that was Thursday, and we just kind of visited. Friday, I called a company that is an umbrella company for several uh, home care companies in the area. So they gave me the names of two companies that they thought would be good for my sister. And Jackie Belzer is here. Hello, hello. And so I called the first one and got no response back from them. So I called the second company and got an immediate response back from them. They came out within 2 days, and we had an opportunity to interview them. They were very professional, very polite, very pleasant, very knowledgeable, very knowledgeable about their company and what it offered. They were knowledgeable about their employees, and they were security was main. I'll just put it that way. They had to fingerprint statewide, and then the company checked with the FBI. So that was over and above, and we liked that. And the professionalism that they presented was just outstanding. So we said, okay, we will go with this company without interviewing the second company. And a gentleman came out who is their general manager, I guess. He came out to the house, and my sister signed the contract. Now, all of this is taken right out of her trust, so she does not have to worry about paying for this. It's taken care of for her, which makes them happy because they are private pay rather than insurance. I don't think you get as good a quality sometimes with insurance companies as you do with private pay. I think they try harder because they don't want to lose that private pay. Maybe I don't know, but anyway, they were a number one top shelf all the way around. Monday they sent out the first woman, who proceeded to, first day, okay, let me back up a bit. I'm sorry. They said they had no one to cover 5 days. We wanted 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. They said they had no one at this time that could cover all 5 days. What they could do was to send out two people, one for Monday, Wednesday, and the other for Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And my sister said, okay, I can do that. As long as you don't send out somebody new all the time. If they were the same two people each week, she thought she could handle that. So the first woman came out Monday, and the first time someone comes to the home, it's mostly a meet and greet. It's an opportunity for them to get to know who the client is, for the client to get to know who the caregiver is, for the caregiver to get a look at the house and what they're going to be responsible for, and make everybody comfortable. So the first woman came Monday. She sat in the recliner and just vomited out the most horrendous information you would ever want to hear, we thought. And when she left, Marilyn said, my sister wouldn't say a bad word if she had a handful of it, if you know what I mean. She had an unusually loud voice. I don't know whether I could take that voice. And I'm thinking, that's what you got out of this, the voice? But you have to know my sister. And I said, I agree with you. I will give the company a call and tell them that this one is not going to work and why. So Tuesday, the Tuesday, Thursday, Friday woman came, and she sat down for her meet and greet. I gave her a tour through the house. My sister has, she has an ostomy, so I showed her where the sheets and the towels and the ostomy supplies were, because that would be an area that she's probably, if my sister has a spill, that's first. You have to take care of that. So it'd be a lot of laundry and bed changing and things like that, besides cooking and light housekeeping. So this woman sits on, I think she sat on the couch. All I can say is that whatever the first woman said, this second one topped it. And I think there was a sentence about pornography in there. And I didn't have the courage to look at my sister. I don't think out of my peripheral that she was looking at me either. But I do have to give us both credit for not dropping our jaws down to our knees. So after she left, I called the company and I said, I'm very sorry, but if this is the type of persons that you're going to send out for my sister, we're going to look for a new company, because you came out, you were so professional, you assured us of all of the security, and here's what we got. And I said, I feel like you were scraping the bottom of the barrel. You told us you had retired nurses, retired teachers, people that were familiar with medical disabilities, people who were familiar with Alzheimer's and dementia. Now, my sister does not have those things, but from all of the surgeries, she had 5 surgeries within 4 years. The first one was the removal of her colon, which had gone systemic. Had they not taken it out that day, she would have died. So all that anesthesia and all of the things that she's been through since then, anesthesia does weird things to your brain. And she has what she calls a 2-minute delay. If we're talking about someone, she'll say, give me 2 minutes and I'll tell you their name. And she does. She has about a 2-minute delay. It's I understand it because I'm her sister and I love her. But Um, they were supposed to be wonderful people filled with all these extra skills, and I didn't see it. So I called the company and I said, these two will not do. Do you have someone else? And God, in his provision, because I said to him, thy will be done. I'm not liking what I've done so far, so thy will be done. And Wednesday, a new person came. Young person, I think she's just 20, 24 maybe. Just the loveliest person you would ever want to meet. Short, slight. She has a child at home. She's living with her mother because she's going to school. And she said, they called me last night and said they had a 2-day job, Monday, Wednesday. She said, it's exactly what I'm looking for because I have classes on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And she said, I told Jesus, please send me to someone who wants me to clean. Well, that did it for us. She is interested in crochet. She started to work, and I'm telling you, in about 2 hours, she had that place looking spick and span. She had the bed made, she had the load in the laundry, um, the trash was all picked up, put in the kitchen trash to be taken out before she left. Um, she swept the kitchen floor. The only thing she didn't do was vacuum. She dusted everything. She said, your bedroom was pretty dusty, so I just dusted down the walls. I couldn't reach the ceiling. But she said, I'll get that next time if you've got an extender. Delightful child. And then Thursday came, and we had another new person. Hey, Len, I'm back. He does provide. The second girl was not the worker that the first girl was. She was very personable, but hesitant. Um, you know, when you go into someone's house, you know what your house looks like, and you come into someone else's house and you see things maybe in their home that you do at home that hasn't been done. And you see those things, and if you're in a caregiving position, the first thing you do is to do those things, you know, get them back into some semblance of order, especially if you're a caregiver. It's your job, part of your job. She either did not see things that needed to be done, or she did not take the initiative. So again, I called and I said, my sister is happy with both girls. There is a vast difference between the two. One just sees it and goes at it and doesn't stop until it's done. The other one is a little more hesitant. And I said, either she doesn't see things that need to be done, or she doesn't take the initiative to do them. It could be that she thought, you know, this was meet and greet and that's it. We'll see. And they said, well, we'll have a talk with her and see if we can pump up the initiative. So when I finally did get home, let's see, let me back up. The 2 weeks were up, and they had people, those first two people in place, and it wasn't going to work. So I had to call Mr. Elmo and say, I need to extend my stay another week until we get people in place and it begins to run smooth and Marilyn is comfortable, because I'm not leaving her with somebody she doesn't know or somebody she doesn't like. Um, and he said, of course, go ahead. So I stayed the third week, and we did get two people in place. And when I got home on that following Wednesday, I called her on Thursday, and after the second girl would have left, and I think it's going to work out. So I said, well, I'm going to keep calling and, finding out from you, and just let me know if there's a problem. And so far, I haven't heard anything back. So, hello, Janice. Tina, hello, hello. Looking good and looking good. So, anyway, I think things are all set up there. But while I was up there, I didn't do a whole lot. I made some hats, made a couple blankets. I gave 5 hats away, and I gave 3 of the 4 blankets away. And I really enjoyed going to bed when I wanted to, getting up when I wanted to, getting a cup of coffee when I wanted to, sitting and crocheting when I wanted to. Didn't have a car, so we didn't go anywhere. And it was just nice to be on my own with no commitments at all. And I went right back to January 1st. Maybe I shouldn't start my 3rd year. Maybe I should just not come back, because I wouldn't have any deadlines. I wouldn't have any preparation time. I could do what I wanted when I wanted. And then a couple things occurred. I looked at my sister, who sits in her chair all day and watches TV, and that's all that she does. She fights drinking water. She has to drink water with her morning pills and her evening pills. But during the day, she may drink 1 glass of water. She doesn't move. If she does move, her balance is terrible. She uses her walker or her little Red Ryder. She doesn't go anywhere, to the point where her family has stopped asking her. She has 6 stepchildren, and they each have at least 1. Some have 2, some have 3. And there's birthdays, and there's anniversaries, and there's celebrations and parties, and she doesn't go to any of them. She's afraid to offend someone. And they've stopped asking her to come. If I'm there, they come to her house. Otherwise, they don't. She talks about 2 things. And if you didn't love her, there's not much to love. And I thought, do I want to wind up there, sitting in the rocking chair, crocheting all day, not going anywhere, not doing anything? No, I don't want to do that. And the other thing is, do I want to lose my family? And all of your faces came through the door, one by one. And I said, no, I can't lose these people. I love them too much. In 2 years, I've grown to love them so much. And they depend on me to be here. So I can't quit. I've never been really good on follow through. I get an idea and I get really excited and I start into it and I burn out. This is probably the longest thing I've ever done outside living. But you know what I mean. My biggest commitment, other than my marriage, is Jacqueline Marley. Hugs and kisses to you. So this morning, sitting in my pajamas in here, eating frosted mini shredded wheat, I decided I can't quit. I can't quit I have too many people that depend on me that I love more than I can say. But I do need to pare back. That I do need to do. Now, in January, I told you that we're going to do a some bunny or somebody every month. And the person who does one of them during the month can post their picture on Facebook. And Leanie's going to keep track for me. And we're going to pick a winner every month from the entries. Also on Wednesdays with the Stitch of the Week or the Stitch of the Month, if you finished an item, whether it's a hat or a scarf or a washcloth or a blanket, whatever you use that stitch in, and finish it within the month, post it on Facebook under the Stitch of the Week section, we'll draw a winner. So I will have 2 winners a month. If you complete all 12 of the somebodies, or the stitch of the month, if you complete all 12 months. And I think we did 11 on the bunny because I didn't start the bunny in January. So if you complete all 11 of the somebodies and all 12 of the stitches, your name goes on a wheel, and there's a bigger prize. There's a prize for each one of those, whoever wins, and it's a bigger prize because it'll be 2 prizes a month will be going out, and 2 prizes at the end of the year additional. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to stop doing the Pick Your Blessing. I just can't afford the postage right now with all the flight. I was able to use some of my flight miles, but I didn't have enough to fly home, so airline prices went up like everything else. But that's not your problem, that's my problem. But because of that, it becomes a constriction on my part. So I'm not going to be doing the Sunday giveaways, which breaks my heart, but will save my pocketbook. You know, Lynn, you'll have to look and check with Leanie. It's a purple post, Lynn. You put an item on my Facebook page? Okay, good. It's pinned up at the featured section of the group. I have to tell you, I have not been on my Facebook page. I did take my computer with me, but all I did was granny squares. This is Mimi, I think. Minin, M-I-N-I, Minnie, I don't know. Here's another one. Now remember, I gave away 3 blankets that I had done. Here's another one that I've started. Isn't that pretty? I just love that color combination. I don't know where I'm going from here though. But as you can tell, I had limited colors up there. And so I did buy this one while I was up there. I got it on Amazon and had it shipped to my sister's. And you can see it's a variegated. Goes into the gold and into the dark red and pink. And it's really kind of really a light pink. And then it goes into more gold again. So those were the colors that I had up there. Those were the colors I worked with. But I got some patterns for some really beautiful Minin. I think her name is Minin. I'll see if I can find it and I'll post it. And then Kay, I like Kay. Kay said, just do this. It's beautiful. And so I did. And guess what? It's beautiful. And it looks the same on both sides because you do it back and forth. And it's a really nice scrap user upper. And this just might be Wednesday's stitch. Because everybody needs a project to work on and a project that they can only work on a little bit of time to break it up. And you could do 1 row or 2 rows. You could finish a bunny, whatever you have left over, put it on this blanket. And then you have a record of all of the bunnies that you've made during the year. Okay. What else do I have to show you? Oh, I did get some. I ordered on Amazon. I ordered white because I had borrowed some white from my sister's granddaughter. And I borrowed a little yellow and I borrowed a little of this. Well, you can see what I borrowed. The yellow and the pink. I bought the green. I bought this. I borrowed her white. And I brought up this peachy pinky thing. But I figured I better replace what I had used. So I bought some white. I bought some, I don't have it in here, bitty stripes, which is what this is the bitty stripes. Red Heart Super Saver bitty stripes. That's what this one was. And I bought some Red Heart Super Saver Sutherland in the color Sutherland. And I made this. Excuse me. Now, those of you who don't know it, I am a McCoy, and the McCoys lived on the estate of the Earl of Sutherland in northern Scotland in the Highlands. So when I saw this, Carrie! Hello, hello! And Susan Burke, I'm so glad you came in today, Susan. Make sure you get some coffee and some kind of pastry up there. There's a bunch of variegated pastries today. Oh, Panda, I love you so much. Panda was in and out of lots of different chats, and every time he saw my name, he always told me that he loved me. And it kept me going through some tough times. And it's one of the reasons that I'm not going to quit. Oh, really, Pebbles? There's another person on Facebook says some bunnies that sells them, not the correct Facebook page. Hey, Kimmer. I don't know, Leanie. Can you post my Facebook page, and I'll try and put it on my page so that you can just click on the link and go right to it. You know what, Panda? I'm home. And Tonino, I am home, and it is not much warmer here. It says 35 and sunny today. So I think I brought the cold home with me. Anyway, this is the Sutherland color pattern. And so when I saw that, I had to get it. You know, I had to get it. So that's the fourth blanket, and I'm not giving it to anybody. But what I've decided to do is I have decided to make um, 36 by 36 or 30 by 30, somewhere in there, lap blankets for the nursing home near me. And when I get those covered, I'll look for something else to do. Um, there's so many charities out there that need. If you've got stuff and don't know where to go, check your local charities. The Catholic charities need soap sacks, blankets, any place cold. Senior centers will need lap blankets or fingerless gloves. There's always somewhere local. This is the correct page. Miss C's Cottage, home of the Sun Bunny. All right, thank you. Kitty! I love you, and that's why I'm here. Thank you, Leanie, for that. And thank you for taking care of all of that for me because I'm tech ignorant. But I've decided to make for the uh, nursing homes, the old folks' home, or whatever they call them, the places that I thought that I could go and sit for the rest of my life and be happy and crochet, and then decided I didn't want to wind up like my sister. So, oh, there's Dawn. Dawn, I'm so glad you came in this morning. Um, Carrie, this is the name of the yarn. It's a Red Heart Super Saver in the color Sutherland. And Sutherlandshire in northern Scotland is the estate where my family, the McCoys, migrated. Now, I have a funny story to tell you is one of the McCoys used to go on to Sutherland land and raid and I guess take deer or whatever. And finally the Laird of Sutherlandshire said, come here, come here, I want to talk to you. And so he talked to him and he said, look, I'm going to let you marry one of my daughters so you'll stop poaching my deer. And that's what happened. So this colorway is a little bit close to my heart. Okay. Valerie, hello, hello, hello. I've been watching for your face to come in the door. And there's my Mimi. See, you guys. I can't leave. I can't not do this. I am going to cut back, but I can't quit. You guys, you know the Grinch whose heart was two sizes too small. I really feel like if I shut down Miss C's Cottage, my heart would shrink and be two sizes too small, and I would be a bitter old witch with a B. And I would be no good for anyone. Myself, Mr. Elmo, God, I would be no good. Besides, God's given me a mission. I got to make more Sun Bunnies. Mimi, I need you too. That's why I can't quit. Ellie! The girl at my sister's who is the cleaner. I hate to call people a cleaner because those are the people that come in after a murder and clean up. And so that the next person that moves into the motel room doesn't know anything happened there. But she took me to, oh, Mia, thank you. Thank you. You weren't supposed to mention anything, but I need you guys too. There's just no way I can live day to day without knowing that you guys are out there loving me and I'm loving you right back. God is love. That's it. He's love. He loved us so much he created this world for us to live in. He loved us so much that he created us in his image to love others. He loves us so much that he gives us the desires of our heart if it's according to his will. And all we're asked to do is to love one another, to love him and to love one another. And it doesn't sound like such a hard thing to do until you run into someone who's not lovable. And you think, oh gosh, do I have to love him too? And God says, you don't have to like him. You don't have to like what he does, but you have to love him because he is one of my children too. Life is not always easy, but if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, it's not too bad. Yeah, our community here has really gotten tight, hasn't it? I love it. I love it. Okay, so where are we going next? Oh, today's the day I'm supposed to teach you how to do the Sun Bunny. Michelle is here. You little hooky player, you. All right, this is as far as I've gotten on my hat so far. You can see I'm doing a 2x2 ribbing on size US 7, 4.5 millimeter Likey driftwood needles. Out of Premier Basic in the color Taffy. All right, I'm going to put this aside and let's see, do I have something else to show you? I do have something else to show you. Last night, I was thinking, what else can I make? And one of the restaurants that I go to, I've given a couple bunnies to the people who are there that, you know, my heart. I love everybody, but they're special people, so I made them bunnies. And one of the ladies said, would I make her something? And I said, what would you like? Thinking a buddy or a bunny. She said, it doesn't matter. She said, I teach third grade, and they need a reading buddy. So I said, okay. So I made her a bunny, and then I made her a chicken, and I made her a bumblebee, and I made her, I don't know, a ghost and um, a whale, and just sitting there, you know, playing around. And last night I did a chickadee and a robin. So I thought, well, I could make a bunch of these, and then she'd have enough for each one in her class. But you see how I get into something and then I overdo it? So I want to do a cardinal with a black head and black wings like this, and a red body. I want to do a black cap chickadee. I want to do a bluebird. I want to do Anyway, they're fast and easy, and if you want, you can look them up on Ravelry. They're called Bubba Bird. And I would recommend that you use a number 3 or smaller for the beak, because this guy's beak came out way too big, I think. He looks more like an eagle beak. Or I'm thinking about calling this one Jimmy Durante. Ha-cha-cha-cha-cha. You made 2 birds? Well, look up Bubba Bird, and I think I have him right here. Yep. Bubba Bird. Ooh. Bubba Bird. Really, really cute little guy. This says, oh no, it's the woolly lamb, maybe? I don't have anything on here. Anyway, you look up, go to Ravelry and look up Bubba Bird, or go to YouTube and look up Bubba Bird, and you should come up with it, okay? Janice, do you remember who did I just say it was? Jimmy Durante. Yeah, post them on the page. That would be great. You know, you can post anything on my Facebook page, okay? But if you post your somebody or somebody and you post the stitch of the month, then finished during that month, then you have an opportunity to win a prize every month. And if you do all 11 or 12 of them, then you have an opportunity to win a very nice prize. And I want to show you something. I'll be right back. Do not leave me, my darlings. Do not leave me, oh my darling. All right, here we go. At the end of the year, whoever has made on time 11 some bunnies or somebodies will receive this bag with a bunch of really cool stuff in it. And during the month, those of you who finished it and posted it could receive maybe one of these Notions pouches with stuff in it. And this is my least favorite, but I know there's some of you who will think that's funny. These are also prizes. This goes on your keychain and is a little snap pouch that opens up into a shopping bag or a project bag. And I really like these. I thought about keeping one for myself, but no, I can't be that selfish. I wouldn't. Now I gotta see if I can get it back in the pouch. Eee. Yeah, goes back in the pouch, snaps shut. Snap shut, and there you go. And there's this one, and one with stars all over it. There's this pink and cream striped one, and this one with flowers. And then there's some yarn, one of which is this yarn. This might go to someone in the stitch of the month. Could do a shawl out of that one with a stitch. And the other grand prize at the end of the year is a ball winder. All right, now that I have shown you everything and given you the incentive to go, 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 I'll show you some things I was working on. Hat, 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 hat. And my latest hat, which I got the idea from KK Crochet. It's KK did it because her daughter Kendra is one of the happiest people you want to meet, and her goal is to make others happy. And so KK created the Bridge of Happiness hat. And right in the middle of the hat is a bridge. Is that like the coolest thing? And it's just what did she say? Oh, somebody help me. Spring. It's just Spring's hat. I think it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. A couple rows of 60s. Half double crochets in the back loop. Half double crochets in the back loop. A couple more rows of 60. And then for my border, I put single crochets. I just did 3 rows of single crochets for my brim. And this is not going to look really good on me because I'm not a hat person, but it does fit. It does fit really nice. And I don't know, I like it. But that's my latest hat. And I turned all of these hats, these are January hats. So I turned all of these hats into Christie's closet yesterday. Made the 31st deadline. So I'm on the wheel for hats, and more hats. And I plan on she just wants you to make one hat a month. One hat a month. I did 9. But anyway, kept me busy and off the street, which I wouldn't have been on the street anyway because it was too darn cold. Oh my goodness, it was cold. One night it was 24 below with the wind chill, made it 24 below. Charlotte, hello. Welcome to Miss C's cottage. I'm so glad you stopped in. It was Spring, the yarn enthusiast. It was her hat pattern, her basic hat pattern, Samantha, where you start with 10 and then go to 20. Or, if you want a larger size hat, you can do, excuse me, you can do 12 and then 24 and then 36 and then 48 and then 60 and then 72 if you need to go to 72. Mm-mm-mm. Mimi, I watched that ice come out of Dallas, Houston area, just and come right on up through the center of the country and right on up to Toledo, and um, I could feel the love that came with the ice and the snow. But it was funny watching that, and right on Charlotte, North Carolina, there was ice, 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 and I'm like, oh dear God, how am I going to get home? Am I going to be able to get home with all that ice? They're going to have to de-ice the plane. What if the plane doesn't de-ice on it? It's like, wait a minute. I will be done. It's just, that's the way it is. I can't change it, and worrying does not do anything good for my body. Mm-mm-mm. It's still 35 here. All right, I'm going to put these little lovely birds. If I put them here, can you see them? Okay, there's one. And I'll put the other one right here. Oh, you can't see that one. Can you? Oh, yeah, you can. You can see them. Okay. Okay. Let me see now if I can clear off this. I've got another bunny going. Feet. I don't know how I wound up with 5 feet, but I did. And a head and a body. Now, if you look at the body, you'll see that it's got halo. I took a brush. Just took this little brush. And I just started brushing all different ways. And look at there, he's got halo. So I'm going to finish him off. I have only one ear. I think that's what happened. I started an ear and thought it was a foot and finished a foot instead of the ear. So I have to find this yarn again and make another ear, and then I can finish this bunny. Oh my, look, here's another one. I don't know. You guys tell me. 1 if yes, no, 2 if no. Do you like them open? Because this is not like a regular granny. This is an open granny. It's pretty. I like it, and I'll finish it. But okay. All right, I'm going to clear off this. This is terrible here, but we'll see what we can do. Please pardon this mess. We're gonna do a bunny foot. This is your tutorial part. All right, let's see. Loosen this so this can come down. Now we're going to switch over the camera and see what we can do here. You know, this is always new to me because I am so in. Okay, this should be it. There's another apple. That's an apple coaster. Do you remember when we did these apple coasters in I think last August or September? Look at how wonky this one is. This one had way too many stitches in it, and that comes from not counting. And here's another Granny Smith. All right, such as it is. I'm going to start with this green because I think in here somewhere I have a green leg. Well, not finding it. Okay. Oh, there it is. This is what we're going to do today. So I'm going to start with once around because I only had this much green left. So I cut it in 4 so that I could be sure I'd have enough to make 4 paws. So we're going to do 6 single crochets in the magic loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's not real clear, is it? Is it clearer if I bring it down a bit? Oh, you know, up there, the cold weather did not do my thumbs any good. There, we'll see if that works better. All right, I'm going to pull this closed. I'm going to put in my row marker. And the next row is 12. 2 in each of the first original 6. One, 2, 2 in this one for 3 and 4. 2 in the next one for 5 and 6. 2 in the fourth one for 7 and 8. 2 in the fifth one for 9 and 10. And 2 in the last one for 11 and 12. Well, I'm going to take this one out. And use this one, which is a little longer. There's 11 and 12. And then I'm going to secure it with a slip stitch. Whoops, slip stitch in there. Okay. And that gives me, excuse me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. From 12, I'm going to switch colors. And when you do this, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter which one you start in because you still got 12. So I'm going to tie this off right over left. Left over right. And I'm just going to leave it because it goes in the foot. And it's going to be very similar to this. Now I'm going to change colors. And because we did 12, we're going to do 18. I'm going to start here. One. Oops. We'll do 2 in the next. Three. Four, 5. 6. 7, 8. 9. 10. 11. 13. 14 and 15. 16. 17 and 18. Now we're going to do, we've got 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 3 rows of 18. Let's see if I can do this a little easier. Barbara, hello. And Leslie, hello, welcome in. We're starting a foot on our bunny, which I am doing a bunny, because that's what was going. Now, I did put out a poll to see what you would like to do next in March. And I got several answers. I got several cats. I got several dogs. And from my Antonino, guess what he wanted? He said, Miss C, you can do, her abuela, he calls me abuela. You can do whatever you want, but, I'm partial to pandas. So, one of these days, we're going to have to do a panda. There was a fourth one in there, and I have it written down. I just can't remember it right now. But you still have time to go on my community tab or the tab or communications or whatever they're calling it right now, and write in what you would like to make during our somebody contest. All right, let's see how many rounds we have now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need another row of gray because we need 3 rows of gray. We need 4 rows because we have 1, 2 green, 1, 2, 3. We need 1 more row of gray to make 6. Because 7 is our decrease row for the foot. I am really going to enjoy my nap today. That is one thing that my sister and I did pretty much every day, was to take a nap. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This will be 7. So we need to single crochet and a decrease. A single crochet and a decrease. Single crochet That was really weird. I'm sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. My internet went down. The internet went down. So let me let me go back and we'll finish this little bunny foot. All right. Yeah, I don't know. The internet just clicked off. So we're almost finished here. All right. Now from here on to row 20, we're just going to do 12 single crochets around each round for 20 rows. And that is your bunny leg and arm. Well, actually, they're all 4 legs. And I'm going to switch to this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're still on 18 here. I do want you to know that I am very glad to be back. I'm very glad to be home. I'm very glad to be back online. I did check in a couple times. There are certain programs that I really don't like missing. Oh, I've got myself in an awful mess here. Let's see if I can get myself out of this mess. There's one, and there's the other. All right, I'm good. I'm not going to give up. There's too much at stake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this is row 2, 3, 4. This is row 7. So we're going to single and decrease. And single and decrease. This is row 7 again. You noticed I switched to the other color. I remember as a child going out on Lake Erie. Decrease, 1 decrease. And putting my skates on and taking a single bed sheet, twin bed, with my sister, and we'd hold it up and let the wind blow us down towards the bridge on Summit Street. And then we'd capture the sheet and skate back to in front of our house. And then we'd hang on to the corners and let it billow out and the wind push us down. Decrease, 1 decrease, 1 decrease, 1 decrease. 1 decrease. 1 decrease. And I seem to have an extra one. But we did get a lot of snow being right on Lake Erie. We got that lake effect snow, and we could watch Consumer Power Company, watch which way the wind was blowing. And my mother, I swear, would have been a great meteorologist. She could tell when a storm was coming and whether we were going to get snow and about how much, whether the creek was frozen enough, because our creek came off of Lake Erie. And Lake Erie's a very shallow, I think it's the shallowest of all of the Great Lakes around Michigan. And boy, we could not go out on the creek until my mother said it was okay. And if it was a thin layer and if it had frozen quickly, it was almost clear and you could see the goldfish or the, what do they call them? There's another name for them. But we could see the golden, they were carp, I think. Japanese koi, Japanese call them koi, but they were goldfish, gold carps. And we could see them swimming under the ice. That was pretty cool. And we'd get so cold out there because it was so fun and we did not want to come in. But when we couldn't feel our noses and our fingers anymore, we'd come into the back door. And you could come in the house, but you couldn't stand up. You had to get on your hands and knees and crawl down the hallway to the front living room. And Mother would take our skates off and we'd put our feet up against the pot-bellied stove. We actually had a big black pot-bellied stove in the living room, which heated our house. Our house was a summer cottage of my grandfather's where I grew up. And she'd have the coals in there and all stoked up, radiating heat, and we'd put our feet close to the bottom where the coals were. And up on top, where you put the coal in, was a flat top pot-bellied stove. It stood about, oh, I'll bet you 4.5 feet tall, maybe 5 feet tall. But she'd have a big cast iron pot full of chili or vegetable soup or potato soup. And she'd get the bowls and she'd ladle us some soup. And we'd sit there in our coats and take our mittens off. But we'd sit there in our coats and our stocking feet up against that stove and warm up. And of course, once you've been outside playing all morning and you come in and you finally get warm and you've got warm soup in your belly, the next thing you do is take a nap. And I think my mother had that all pre-planned. You know, Dee, I sat in my sister's den, family room, whatever you want to call it, and watched those beautiful flakes come down. And then the wind would blow and it would blow off the roof and it would just look like a whiteout with the snow coming off the roof. But they were so beautiful. And I think what made them more beautiful was I was inside with a crocheted blanket on my lap and the fireplace going and drinking a hot cup of tea and laughing with my sister I didn't have a car. We didn't rent a car because my primary concern was to stay there until I got someone she was comfortable with and stay there long enough that she knew she would be comfortable with them when I went home. And so the only day I went out was one day, the girl who came in, we went to the grocery because we were out of a couple things. And that's another part of what these caregivers will do. You give them a list, tell them which store you're going to, and they'll go and pick up your groceries. Now, if my sister had a computer, she could do all that on the computer and just go either pick it up, have someone pick it up for her, or have it delivered. There's a $10 delivery fee, which, like I said, things come out of her trust. So, that would not have been a problem for her. But she's also Scottish from the Highlands of Scotland on the estate of the Sutherlandshire. And she is tight. She is as tight as I am. We grew up pretty poor and we didn't always get what we wanted. We did always get what we needed, but we didn't always get what we wanted. And we learned to make do with what we have and be grateful for it. And I think it was a good upbringing for all of us. Because you know me, when I get money, I spend it. I spend it on yarn and make things and give it all away. And I've got myself in a situation where I think my last Premier order was last year, August. But I spent $90. So, that goes on a credit card and you have to pay it off. And then something comes up like an emergency flight north. And if I hadn't had miles to rely on, I probably would be in deeper debt. But all is well, all is working out, and going back to saving a bit here and saving a bit there and using my allowance to pay off those airline bills. I figure 6 months and we'll be back to doing a blessing. How are we doing for time? Oh, we still have a few minutes left. I think I'm going to get this one done. Usually a leg takes me about half an hour to do. All right, let's count and see what we have here. I don't think I've got enough yet, but we'll count and see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we've got 2 more rounds to go. Oh, biscuits and gravy. I've never really taken a fancy to biscuits and gravy. I think it's because I don't like the sausage. I don't know that I ever lived in a house that had a fireplace. We had the pot-bellied stove, and none of the places I lived in for when I married my Mr. Tom, there was a gas burning fireplace, but we never lit it. I don't think I ever lit it. Actually, I don't even know how long I lived there before we moved to Florida. I think it was only like 6 months, maybe. And that was summer. August, September, October. No, I was there in the wintertime because I remember the pansies got covered over with snow but they didn't die. Pansies are a real cold, hardy flower. But when I moved to Florida, I did not have a fireplace in any of the houses there. When I moved back up to Ocala, after Mr. Tom passed away, that next winter, I drove to Gainesville and they had a sale. It was after Christmas. They had an after Christmas sale and all Christmas items were 50% off. And in their ad, they had an electric fireplace. And I thought, by golly, if that's 50% off, I'm going to buy it for me. And I did. Okay, I'm going to slip stitch this last stitch, cut a tail long enough to sew the leg on. And I can pull this out and take a bit of stuffing. And put down in that foot. Actually, it's probably easier if you, after row 8 or 9, if you want to stuff the foot, then you're only up to about here, and it goes in the foot a whole lot easier, but it really doesn't matter. You've got 12 stitches up here, which is plenty of room to put it in. All right. Then we're just going to take our needle there it is over there. And I'm going to do this across the needle, pinch it, open my fingers up just a bit, enough to get the thread through. And then I'm going to stitch it closed. Just a whip stitch. But what I was saying is I would turn that electric fireplace on and stand in front of it and get dressed in the morning, getting ready for school, teaching, and then I didn't have to turn the furnace on because by the time I got home, it was warm enough still in the house, and I would just get myself a cup of tea, and I usually stopped on the way home and picked up tacos from Taco Bell or something. I don't know. All right, your homework for this week is 3 more feet. And it's okay by me if you use the same color. You don't have to. You can do 6, 12 in one color like we did here. You could go all the way up. Let's see what we've got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 8 is the decrease row. 7 is the decrease row. Pretty much your choice. Here's one's got toenails. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this one. But you can do whatever you want, and that's okay. All right, we've got our 15 minutes left before the hour. I'm switching back to the other camera. Because if you remember, 3 weeks ago, we were talking about what God's Word means to me. And I started, you could do the foot a different color until the decrease for the leg part. Yeah. Jen, hello, hello. I saw you in Ivy Tuesday. Yeah, it did. It does seem like a long ago. So maybe I'll just reiterate. We people are like sheep, and we just wander around in circles unless we have someone to lead us. And for me, that leader is God. And in the 23rd Psalm, David is minding a bunch of sheep, and he realizes the importance of keeping those sheep together and finding places for them to eat and finding places that are safe for them to lay down for the night and taking care of those. And David is a very good shepherd, and he's sitting on a rock, and he says, you know what, I am just as discombobulated as these sheep. In fact, I am a sheep. And then he says, the Lord is my shepherd. As I am shepherd to these sheep, the Lord is my shepherd. And he makes me lay down in green pastures because that's what I like to eat. And he leads me beside still waters because if I get near rushing water, I panic. And my coat is so curly that if I get stuck in rushing water, I can't get out. I can't fight that rushing water. I'll get dragged downstream with the water in my coat, and I'll drown. And if you remember I think there were 6, maybe 7 things that Hercules had to do. Somebody gave him trials and he had to do them. One of them was find a golden fleece. You know what that fleece was? It was a sheep's skin. And the sheepskin was put fleece side up, skin side down, near a small trill, a waterfall. The water that came down from that mountain ran into gold somewhere, real gold, a strain of it, and the small particles were sent down that stream, and they gathered in that wool of that sheep and turned that sheep's wool golden. I find that is amazing. To use a sheepskin as a filter to catch gold. But David recognized the importance of being a sheep and having a good shepherd. And he tells us that his good shepherd led him by still waters so that they could go down and drink and not be afraid. Because remember, they're out in a wilderness and they need somewhere green to eat and somewhere to drink water. Hey, Gail. Welcome, welcome. And Oodles. Hello, hello. Gosh, I'm so glad you guys came in. So David says, you know, my good shepherd is the Lord. And he leads me beside still waters, and he makes me lay down in green pastures. And he, when you get a good night's sleep, you wake up in the morning, your soul is restored. And with God looking out after us, we can take a nice cool drink of water and lay down in the grass after we've eaten our fill and not have to worry about what animals, bears or wolves or lions may come and devour us in the night, because we have the Good Shepherd looking over us. We can go to sleep and restore our soul. And you know why he does it? He does it for his name's sake. He does it for us. He does it because we are his children. And I'm telling you, it doesn't get much better than that. I love my father. And I love my mother. She was very docile. She was a little country mouse. She taught us dignity. She taught us to be ladies. She taught us to, in all things, I think it's in Timothy, it says, in all things, consider others more important than yourself. It doesn't mean that anybody else in the world is more important than you are. It just means that we should treat others that way, as if they were more important. And it's, you can turn ugly, mean, nasty, awful people around if you are nice to them, consistently nice to them, not acting like you like them, but actually loving them, loving who they are, because they are a child of God. You love that in them, and you can't help but touch them. They see that in you. And if we love others as he loved us, we can't go wrong. Not everybody's going to like you, but if you think in your life, you don't like everybody in your life either. And we're not commanded to like people, we're commanded to love people. And that's a big difference. So I don't want you to forget that the Lord is your shepherd also. We're just wandering down here on earth, no clear path, being led. Make sure that the Lord is your shepherd and that you are being led in the right direction. Beside still waters, in green pastures, for his name's sake. To be continued. Okay, this is the time when we get out the prayer request book, and I ask you if there is anything that you would like me to take to my great shepherd in your name. You can go to him too, but I always like to ask because we have some really good prayer warriors here on this channel, and you can tell when you come in, the cottage is filled with love. In fact, I ask you to leave your bucket by the door and fill it up with love on your way out so that you can share it with those others that really need a dipper full of love in their empty buckets. So I'm going to put down here 1 February 2026. And, oh, really, Oodles? Treat others with love and compassion in imitation of Christ. Yes, yes, that's what it's about. You don't have to like them, but you do have to treat them with love because they're your brother and sister in Christ, whether they know it or not. You know it because they are made in the image of God too. Leanie says prayers for all who need them. And Heidi says that their financial situation gets better. All right. Prayers for Barbara. Oh, thanks, Kitty. Thank you. I'm going to keep warm. I'm going to go get a cup of tea. Oh, Charlotte, same lesson. I think it's really important, especially now that things are really tough. Um, Finances are really tough. Groceries are really hard to come by, and everything is so expensive. We need to give a little extra love to those who are really feeling the hurt. Mia needs prayers for Blossom and Kira. Dogs don't like this cold weather either. Kim G, prayers for Mom. Oh, after a fall. That's scary, isn't it, Kim? Continued prayers for Mimi. Well, if they're in LAX, they don't have to worry about de-icing the wings. And Valerie's friend Fran. Had a stroke. And Leslie's uncle's house sold. Good. And you started a new job. Leslie, that's awesome. Do you like it? Terry, you stopped in. Gail, you can ask anything you like. This during this last 5 minutes, that's when we take prayer requests. Dave. I like to have names so that I can tell God about them. Excuse me. If I don't get a name, it's okay because God already knows who they are. Oh, Gail, you come in anytime. I'm here on Wednesday at 12 o'clock, too. Oh, prayers for Dee and Buck. Oh, KK is here. KK, I think what I'm going to do is to I think I'm going to shorten this by one and increase this by one. Half double crochet. Make this bridge a little wider because I really like this hat. And it was so easy to do. And I kept thinking, not all bridges are fresh brown wood. Some of them are gray. So I could do another color hat, like a green one, like a meadow, and put a faded brown or faded, a gray wood. I just happen to have, oh, I put it back. I put it back. I just happen to, well, I can still show you because it's this color. Wouldn't this make a lovely bridge? Looks like weathered wood. Yeah. Mhm. See, I love it when people show things because even if I don't want to do it, it gives me an idea of something that I can do. Okay, let's see. Praise report. Hoo-hoo! I love those praise reports. I knew I'd have a lot of prayers today because I've been gone for 3 weeks. So, okay, guys, 2 o'clock. I need to go. I love you all very much. And I'm so glad you're here for me because I need you as much as you need me. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May He hold you in the palm of His hand until the snow and ice storm passes over you and goes away and we get some green sprouts coming back up. I love you all, and I'll see you Wednesday.